That's an interesting one, isn't it? Because I have asked for the lotto numbers a few times and I have always been refused. For one, I would think, well, surely, depending on who that psychic was and their own moral code, would they have just kept the numbers for themselves rather than giving them to you? So that's the first question. I think it really boils down to the fact as well that depending on the information that comes through, if that information is supposed to be known, then it'll come through. My experience is that spirit know everything. So the universe knows everything. It's all seeing, all being. There's nothing that can be hid from that higher power. It's just whether they choose to divulge it. So if we look at cases, for example, where, somebody has went missing, they will know where that person is. They will know what has happened, but it might be in that person's contract and their destiny for this to happen. Maybe this is what they came here for. And the universe will only release that information whenever it's supposed to be known by the collective and by the wider audience. So that is why there are some cases where they're just never solved. Things never come to the surface because the universe really has the power to bring that up. So if the lotto numbers come through, I would see no reason why they couldn't be divulged to you. Now, it does open up a lot of questions where there are certain psychics who would say, I'm not going to read on this topic. I'm not going to read on that topic. I'm not going to talk about death. I'm not going to talk about this. But it's really been my experience and my firm belief that if the spirit realm are giving me that information, that it is to be passed on. And it's not up to me to decide what information is filtered, because actually we're all different, and the information could even be to help heal somebody as well. An example actually that I can give you is, I have a client that I've read for her a few times, and on one occasion I was being told that her mum was going to pass soon, and obviously that's it's a bit of a funny thing to give to somebody. We don't usually hear of things like that coming out in readings a lot. However, I hesitated, and my spirit guide actually said to me, no, she can deal with this. That's important. And I told her that information. She didn't flinch, didn't even, didn't flinch. And she just said, I'm really pleased to know that, because now I know to make the most of the time that I've got left. So spirit always would know how that person is going to react, whether they're going to be able to cope with that information, whether it's beneficial for them to have it. Perhaps that person needed to get a flight home to go and see her mum rather than having like the distance there, if that makes sense. But likewise, they will know if somebody isn't going to cope well with that information and decide to hold back. So that's really where I come from. I think to myself, I have to really trust in the higher power and trust that if they're giving me information, that it serves a purpose and that it is important to be given over at this particular time. So it's a challenge, because there are some things that I come out with that people would shun me for, but I'm really putting my faith in the spirit realm and trusting that there is a purpose as to why they're giving me that information, and that there is a reason why they want somebody to know that. So likewise, if the lotto numbers were to be known, then maybe you just need to find a new psychic, or or they're just not being given that information.